Imagine you had the ability to see what your money was up to when you weren't watching. Kind of like that moment in Toy Story when the toys spring to life the second Andy leaves the room. Only in this version, it's not playful figurines throwing secret parties. It's your hard-earned cash, quietly funding industries you might not support, making deals behind the scenes, and fueling projects you never signed up for. Sounds unsettling, doesn't it? Because while the numbers in your bank account remain unchanged, the truth is your deposits aren't just sitting there. They're out in the world, working. The question is, what exactly are they working for? Most of us don't think twice about what happens to our money once we deposit it. We assume it's safely tucked away, untouched until we need it. But here's the reality. Thanks to a system called fractional reserve banking, up to 90% of your deposits are loaned out by your bank, funneled into industries and businesses that maximize their profits, not necessarily your values. So while you might be making conscious spending decisions, choosing sustainable brands, avoiding certain companies, or supporting ethical businesses, your money might still be financing the very things you stand against. And that's where things get interesting. To understand how we got here, let's rewind a few centuries. The roots of modern banking stretch back to the 1600s, when carrying around piles of gold wasn't exactly practical. People started storing their gold with goldsmiths, who issued receipts in return, the earliest form of a bank account. But the goldsmiths quickly realized something. Not everyone came to collect their gold at the same time. So they began lending out a portion of the deposits in exchange for interest, making money off other people's assets. Fast forward to today, and banks still operate on that very principle. Only now, the numbers are much bigger and the transactions far more complex. At first glance, the system seems logical. Your money doesn't just sit idly. It's put to work generating profits for the bank while also funding loans for homes, businesses, and infrastructure. But here's the catch. You have no say in where those loans go. And more often than not, they're funneled into industries you might not approve of: fossil fuels, deforestation, unethical labor practices, and even projects that directly harm the environment and communities. That money you saved by skipping a fast fashion purchase, it might still be propping up factories that exploit workers. The cash you set aside instead of driving, it could be helping finance oil drilling in the Arctic. It's a sobering thought, one that raises an important question. Do you really know what your money is doing? Here's the good news. You don't have to stay in the dark. Banks may operate with secrecy, but their financial footprints leave behind a trail. If you want to uncover where your money is really going, start by checking if your bank publishes reports on its investments and loan practices. Transparency, or the lack of it, is often the first clue. A quick search of your bank's name alongside terms like fossil fuel financing or environmental impact can reveal a lot more than they'd like you to know. And if the results make you uneasy, there's an alternative: ethical banking. Unlike traditional banks that prioritize profits above all else, ethical banks focus on funding sustainable energy, fair labor practices, affordable housing, and community-driven projects. They're designed for people who want their money to support something positive, not just feed the corporate machine. If making the switch feels daunting, consider starting small, opening an account with an ethical bank, and gradually shifting your deposits before fully moving over. Because while changing banks might be inconvenient, the impact is worth it. And here's why that matters more than ever. Banks are businesses, and like any business, they care about their reputation. Public pressure works. Thanks to relentless activism, major financial institutions are now facing growing scrutiny over their investments. Some have already pledged to stop financing private prisons, while others are being forced to explain how their actions align with their so-called sustainability goals. None of this happened overnight. It happened because individuals started paying attention, asking questions, and demanding better. And that's the power of awareness. The truth is, your money is already making an impact. The only question left is, are you comfortable with what it's funding? Because once you see the bigger picture, you can't unsee it. But you could do something about it.